Hey guys, Raphael here, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Did you say podcast? Dudes, dudettes! You're listening to the podcast on the Geekcast Radio Network.
Hi, this is Bobby Curnow, Chief Turtle Editor at IDW Publishing, and you are going to have a shell of a good time inside the pull bag.
You've just jumped inside the pull bag. Join TFG1 Mike and the rest of the comic crew here at the GCRN as they make their great escape into comics. From DC, Marvel, and Image to IDW, Boom Studios, and Zenescope, we have everything right here. We cover things like Transformers, He-Man, superheroes, TMNT, and Radiant Black. Yeah, we have all that and so much more. It's all inside the pull bag here on the Geekcast Radio Network. So, without further ado, it's time to talk about the comics we're reading right now, here inside the pull bag.
Hello and welcome to the Pull Bag. This is episode 421. That's right, 421 episodes. I'm, of course, TFG1 Mike. And today we are bopping and rocking. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We are starting a whole month of TMNT stuff. Joining me, as always, Mr. Joe Reed. Hello, sir.
Hello. Quite the coincidence. I'm wearing my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles t-shirt right now.
Of course. Yeah, I usually plan that sometimes, and then I don't realize I've planned it. I'm like, crap, I'm talking Transformers while wearing a Transformers shirt. Or I'm talking Turtles while wearing a Turtles shirt.
For me, it's what was on top when I put my shirt on.
Yes. And we are getting back to IDW Publishing's TMNT. We were doing that at the tail end of last year. When did we do Turtles? It was somewhere around 389, 390. Yeah. And, yeah, we had to put it off for a while because
you at least have some kind of schedule with these things coming out. I have completely lost track of time. It feels on one hand like only a week has gone by, and then other times it's been how many years since I've done
I know,
that
right?
thing?
I know, right? Don't you hate when that happens? Oh, it was so funny. It's not funny. I don't know how far you want to go into this. If you don't, that's fine. But originally, we were going to do this it was going to be Mutant March of this year. And you had messaged me saying we may or may not have a COVID scare.
Yeah. We caught it in November of last year and had it. And then Eli, my son, he keeps bringing it home from daycare, or possibly, because he's the only one who breaks our little bubble. Everything else we've been completely safe.
Right.
That, and just generally during the school year, I teach, and between February and that spring break week, there's meetings and testing and charity events, and even during like hybrid lockdown, no real school, I still got hit with all that, and I just can't think about anything. So that's also just been a weird thing, dealing with all of that and pandemic stuff too. It's just utterly bizarre. But I'm free now. I am breathing clear. So like I have my brain back. I have my geek brain back now.
There you go. Yeah, so originally we were doing this in November, December of 2020. We did Volume 21, which was Episode 387, and then the Macro Series, which was Episode 389. And obviously after Battle Lines, which is Volume 21, which leads up to City at War, which we will get to next week, City at War Part 1. But this week, we have something that's a bit of an anomaly, just like the mutants or humans or I don't know what they are now, that are starring in what we're going to be talking about. It is Bebop and Rocksteady Hit the Road. So first we had Bebop and Rocksteady destroy everything, and now they are hitting the road. And what I love about... Thanks, Bebop. What I love about the Bebop and Rocksteady stuff in the IDW Turtles verse is essentially the Turtles have no consequence here at all. Like, they're not even in it. It's Bebop and Rocksteady as the stars with other supporting... Like, I think the most natural supporting character that has gone up against the Turtles that is in this is Bishop, and he's barely in it.
Mm-hmm. And
So-
this, I think, is coming off the back of when Bebop and Rocksteady came to the IDW series. There was a big fan reaction with them. They, like everything that IDW does, when they put their spin on it with the Turtles and the characters, it's something special. And Bebop and Rocksteady, for the first time ever, are a literal and very real threat to the Turtles and to everyone around them. They're just forces of nature, forces of destruction, and they had that humor in them that came from the cartoon, and so they took off, like, popularity-wise, and I think that's how they ended up with what ended up being 2 miniseries.
Yeah, I mean, the first one, we covered Bebop and Rocksteady Destroy Everything back in 26. That's 5 years ago. Oh, my God.
Yeah, this wasn't that long how late is this?
Hit the Road was, let me just check, and I'll play some. Let's see here.
Jeopardy
Store.
music.
This was released.
Stop now, we're going to get sued for copyright. 2018, according to the inside cover of number 1.
Yep. So it ran from 5 issues, ran from 2018 into 2019, because the trade is dated February 6th of 2019. So this is even 2 years old at this point. But, I mean, hey, I didn't have my computer all of 2020, so I was running behind on things. Like, literally, we would probably be over 500 episodes right now, folks, if I had had my computer last year. Anyway, Bebop and Rocksteady hit the road. What I find really cool and interesting, and I didn't notice this until just now, if you take all 5 covers, number 1 to number 5, of the main covers, the Nick Pitara covers, and Nick did this for, I think, Dimension X, and he might have done it for Bebop and Rocksteady Destroy Everything, I don't remember.
Yep.
But basically, you take all 5 covers, and it makes a mural of the car, of the van, of the whatever. I looked at that, and I'm like, hey, wait a minute. Oh, that's cool.
I'm very disappointed because I have 1 through 5, all the single issues here, except my number 2 is cover B.
Oh,
Because my comic store doesn't get to dictate which covers they get, and I'm the only one getting Ninja Turtle stuff, so they just get sent what they get sent. And darn it, they ruined it for me. So I will just hit one of the other 4 comic stores in town and try to get this issue.
yeah. So Bebop and Rocksteady hit the road. And yes, story by Ben Bates and Dustin Weaver. Script is done by Dustin Weaver. Art by Ben Bates and Dustin Weaver. The colors were done by Brittany Peer on this one, so no Rhonda this time, but that's okay. Letters done by the impressive Mr. Sean Lee, as always. Series editor, obviously, Bobby Curnow. Cover art done by Corey Smith. Cover colors done by Brittany Peer. The cover art that they're mentioning here is the cover art on the trade, which is the one with them on the tank. Yeah, so we begin, and man, what fun is this? It's just fun. And they are road tripping across America trying to get back to New York City.
In the purple car that I had as a child, the Foot Cruiser.
Mm-hmm. That's right. The good old Foot Cruiser. And they want to change. They want to be good guys now. They want to be more awesome than the Turtles. And as I read this, I had forgotten that they had come up against Savanti.
Yeah, that's oh yeah, that's what the Destroy Everything was, because they literally destroyed the timeline.
Mm-hmm. And they created the Bop Steady verse. Hey, that's what it is. And then all of a sudden, as we get, they're driving along, and Rocksteady's ear starts itching, and it's a human ear. Ooh. Bebop's reaction's like, what the hell? We have a car crash, and I gotta say, I know Bebop and Rocksteady are violent, but
they got away with a lot in this book. That I was kind of surprised.
They did. This is
like
not...
For a minute, I thought, is this Robert Kirkman's Invincible? I mean, but it's pretty graphic.
We could use a Bebop and Rocksteady animated series right about now.
I think it would almost play better, especially with this version of them. I mean, they're every once in a while they say something and I hear it in the animated voices and I'm reading it in the animated voices, but then when it gets their shtick, Bebop and Rocksteady's shtick is that they want to be henchmen. They want to be ordered around and told what to do, and in doing so be as destructive as they want to be, but they're really bad at it. And that shtick, that whenever they're talking about wanting to be a member of a gang or in somebody's posse, I don't hear the voices, but that's what's unique to the IDW verse. But when Rocksteady discovers his human ear, he does what you do when you discover something that's growing on your body that shouldn't be, and you cut it off.
I'll say right now, I am very squeamish. I am not. I respect the genre, and this obviously is not the genre, but I respect horror, but I am not a horror person. And blood, guts, and gore, and I know horror is not all blood, guts, and gore, but just in general, blood, guts, and gore, I just can't handle it. This was all right, but I still cringed at the slice. And then he throws it.
And then the dinosaur goes after it and eats it. The gore is why I don't read Invincible. And I loved the story and I loved the writing, but I just couldn't keep going back for that gore. If the Turtles comic were like this all the time, I think I'd be out. I'd probably still buy it because I'm never not buying Ninja Turtles again, but this is not what I want to look at.
Yeah. And you know what, folks? We've been doing this for years now. We've been doing this since, I think, January of 2014 is when we started this series. And there was no way we were not going to do this because I didn't even know. Like, I knew, Bebop and Rocksteady hit the road. I had read the solicitations 3 years ago or however many years ago it was, when the single issues were coming out. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll add that to the list and Joe and I'll get to it eventually. So I had never actually, I don't read comics, but, I read comics for the show. I enjoy them as I'm reading them, but I only want to read them once to have that first fresh impression for the podcast kind of thing. So when I read this, I was like, oh boy, this is going to be a thing, isn't it? I do love and you're not going to be able to see this you could in the physical comic, but again, Comixology and their guided view, how they have Bebop and Rocksteady hit the road with the Foot Cruiser. It literally is my new current, as of this recording, Facebook featured cover photo. I love the panoramic, the widescreen thing there, and then it zooms in with Bebop. Nothing can stop us, not even an ear. Who are the heroes now?
And I hear the snort.
Exactly.
When I look at the title of this and when I look at that first page, I assumed that this was going to be kind of like one of those buddy movies where they're going across country and every issue will be one of the stops along the way that will lead them to their destination, and that it would kind of be a send up on that genre. And I think, at least superficially, that's definitely not where it went. Mainly because they hit many detours.
Well, and what I like about this, and we'll get to it, but what I like about that is they're essentially lost children that don't know how to get home. That's why they're going everywhere. That's why they go to, from South America to Mexico. They know New York is up, so they keep trying to go up, and then Arizona and Utah and Idaho and wherever they end up, and we'll get through it here. But that was one of the things as I was reading this, and one of the realizations that one of the characters makes later about they're essentially lost children and they don't know how to get home. And they're reliant on these other characters to help them out. We get to the EPF, the Earth Protection Force, and
They're
special. Back. Yep, they're back. Special Agent Ravenwood. Wow. Okay. At first, I thought she was going to be another Utrom body.
I wondered.
Just the way that she's drawn, the way that she's built, but her story, it's way worse than being an Utrom body. And what I like about her is she is not like Bishop. She wants to help the mutants. She wants to understand them. I think that is really cool that you have an EPF agent under Bishop that doesn't share his same sentimentality of they have to all be destroyed.
Mm-hmm. I think she wants them contained and locked up because I think there's no question in her mind that they are dangerous, but she at least needs to understand why. And the other interesting thing here is that everybody at the EPF is assuming that they are animals grappling with their new human minds when Bebop and Rocksteady were humans first.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Absolutely. And I love how they kind of give a nod to the chief turtle editor. I'm Agent Bobby Browder. That has to be in reference, because, I mean, he was, who was he? Burnow Island's named after him, so, I mean, Bobby Browder, I guess that was one way to get Bobby Curnow into this. If it's just a name, great, fine, but as soon as I saw the name, I'm like, hey, it's Bobby. Let's see. So we got the helicopters, we got all that. We get to her basically giving the speech of that she's been a part of Earth Protection Force since its inception in 1955. Oh boy, she's a time traveler. Not really, but
yeah, she's like Bishop. She's been around a little longer than is natural.
Mm-hmm. And I love how she basically answers that question. The answer is discipline over body and mind, and good genetics. Mm-hmm. Sure it is.
Yeah, genetics came out of a bottle.
Yeah, pretty much. So she's now talking about Bebop and Rocksteady, and since then they've made their way through Central America into Mexico, leaving a trail of carnage and destruction. They are strong and they are heavily armed. These are two of the most dangerous mutants ever created. I gotta say about the art here, I love the depiction of Bebop and Rocksteady.
Yeah, there's a frenetic energy to the lines, especially when they go nuts, that I really love that kind of spontaneous line out of which an image emerges.
Yeah. So good. So good. And yeah, so basically, like I said, she her objective for them is to capture Bebop and Rocksteady, and if we have to, we will use deadly force, but only on my order. And then we cut to the Mexican desert with Hector Barrales. I'm going to say his.
Sounds right.
I guess, I don't know. He wants to be the next boob tuber.
Every 10-year-old's dream right now.
It's no. I don't know why any parent would make that even allow that to be a feasible dream for a 10-year-old, but whatever.
Some people are willing to monetize their children. We know some of them on the internet. It's scary.
Mm-hmm. Very scary.
That's a whole other podcast. But either way,
it is.
Hector Barrales is he's hunting the unknown. He's like the Fox Mulder of YouTube.
He wants to be
the Bigfoot and Chupacabra, and he knows that there are these aliens sneaking through the desert trying to get somewhere, and so he's out hunting for them.
Yes. And what he finds is Bebop and Rocksteady. I love Rocksteady. I think he's peed himself.
Again, not a line I can hear them say in their 1950s voices.
Obviously. But I can hear it was Barry Gordon and it was Cam Clark.
Cam Clark did Rocksteady.
Yeah. So it was Barry as Bebop and Cam as Rocksteady. I can hear Barry as Bebop. Oh dang, Rocco, this guy's low. I can hear him. We hit the jackpot. I can hear that. But yeah, some of the other lines, you're right. It's just not, and that's fine. These are their own versions. These are the IDW versions, and sometimes we hear it and sometimes we don't. I love how they reveal themselves to Hector. We are Bebop and Rocksteady, aka the Mighty Mutant Foot Soldiers. I love that panel, that square page where Rocksteady is just standing there looking all confident, and Bebop looks like he's ready to, attend a 70s discotheque. And remind me, why do they have the dinosaur?
When they were back wrecking the timeline, it came along with them.
That's right. It's been a while since I've read Bebop and Rocksteady destroy everything. So Hector tells them about this thing that he's hunting that basically comes down, out from nowhere and basically steals people. And as I'm reading this creature that we, come to see and come to find out who it is it Wingnut and Screwloose?
Totally.
That's what I thought. As I was reading it the other day, again, as we're recording this on a Sunday, I was reading it on a Saturday. As I'm reading this, I'm like, wait a minute, Wingnut, I remember. What was the other name? I'm like, Wingnut and Screwloose? Yeah, I think that's it. But, yeah.
Yeah, they were one of the Mighty Mutanimals in the Archie series. And if they ever showed up in the cartoon, I don't remember it. I know they showed up in 2012, but I don't remember the old comic or old cartoon.
Yeah, I don't remember if they did in the 87 cartoon, and I haven't. I need to go back and rewatch the 2012 one again.
I had the toy of Wingnut and Screwloose, but my main memory of them is from the Archie series where they are aliens. And Wingnut had metal wings. He had real bat wings, but they were too small. His species' wings were too small, and so they augmented them with the big metal wings that they built themselves. And
right.
I think he made friends with Screwloose because he had like a anxiety or a sleeping disorder, and the mosquito venom put him to sleep, and it calmed him down. And so Screwloose was getting blood from the bat, and he was getting the ability to sleep, and so they became friends.
Cool. Another part of this is that Hector wants to come up with a cool nickname, screen name, whatever, and they end up calling him Razzmatazz, which is another musical style, I believe.
I do. That it comes up again in one of the later issues, but they do have about the only thing that they do have a good handle on is musical genres, and they can discuss it like they understand it. And as they're befriending this guy, I am anticipating that he's going to become a sidekick on the road trip. I was like, oh, I'm looking forward to this. Let's see what kind of relationship. Speaking of that, as he's discussing that and they're naming him, one of my favorite panels from this is the one where they're now about that gas. Yeah, about that gas. And it's mainly dark, and their dinosaurs in silhouette, and their eyes are just the pupils are lit up. That's a good example of that frenetic line, the crazy scribbles where the images emerge, and it's dark and menacing and scary.
Yeah, very dark, menacing, and scary. So, like I said, we get Wingnut and Screwloose, and we get the Foot Cruiser and its crew driving down the desert. And let's see, what do we got here? Okay, you're going to be Razzmatazz. So they nickname him Razzmatazz. Bebop's like, that's awesome. Rocksteady's like, it's okay. It's okay. It's all right. And they get attacked by this thing that they don't know, even though we already know what it is. And yeah, I expected Hector to last a lot less longer than he does. And Rocksteady apparently doesn't like Draculas, even though there's really only one Rocksteady. I know Rocksteady's, whatever, but oh boy.
So they're battling Wingnut and Screwloose, and Havoc is breaking out, and Rocksteady, who had previously grown in an ear, now his arm reverts back to human.
Yep, it does. And I do think it's in the I think it's in the when they debut in the animated series in '87. All right, you little creeps, now I'm gonna murderize you. I think there's a line.
Drink blazing electric death titles.
Well, the boy likes his work.
Because I think Cam Clark does actually say that as the character to the Turtles, I believe, from the original animated series. So that's awesome.
I'm gonna murderize you creeps. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to find where that happens, but I'm sure it does. Wingnut and Screwloose were trying to get home by building an antenna to communicate with their race, but of course, because Bebop and Rocksteady destroy everything, that collapses, and now they'll never reach home.
Yeah, I'll say this about the Bebop and Rocksteady stuff. It is so different, but yet so tied into the main ongoing story style, art style. However, this art style is way out there, and it is really, if you've been reading the Turtles for as long as we have at this point for IDW, and you want something that's going to basically take you completely out of what the Turtles are doing, this is the book for you, because this is so cool.
The panel with Wham is another favorite.
Yeah, that is very, very good. Because for half of a second, even though I know it's not that, I'm like, oh, great, Rocksteady grew wings somehow. I know it's not that. It's Wingnut that's got a hold of him. But yeah, so cool. So friggin' cool. And, the Wham, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
More of that frenetic, scribbly line.
Yep. There it is. And I love Rocksteady or Bebop. Try and kill my friend, you get flattened.
Oh, he threw him over a cliff and then dropped the car on him.
Damn it, Rocksteady! That thing wrecked our car. And I love how they think that this is a disease. Them turning back human is a disease, because as we get through the end of this first part here, Bebop takes his boot off. Apparently he had hooved feet in boots, because now, oh man, it's on me, and he has a regular old human foot.
Wait, you had hooved feet in your boots the whole time?
Yeah.
I love
really
that.
Stinks. Yeah.
It makes me want to go look at the action figure, because I thought the action figure had the toe coming loose from the sole, and you could see his toes, but I don't remember.
Yeah.
That'd be funny if, it doesn't, I'm not saying, I'm looking for continuity here, but I'm wondering if the hooved things in there,
yeah.
If we could pretend it was a thing all the way back then.
So they're walking away. Rocksteady is more human than human. And what happened to Razzmatazz? Whatever. He didn't really understand us anyway. I like Razzmatazz. Also, Razzmatazz is a dumb nickname. Should have gone with doo-wop or grunge. And then we go somewhere completely different. Okay, it's not completely different, but it's not really having to do with Rocksteady and Bebop right now. It is these time cops, I want to say.
Yeah, Renette's people.
Yep. Yeah, and they are inspecting the bottom of the crevice, the canyon, the whatever, with the destroyed car, and I love how they're like, you know what? Let's leave whatever it is. It's above our pay grade. Like, they just don't want to deal with it. Then we have this thing at the very end. Ha 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 ha. Interesting. Oh, Lord. Alright. Getting into issue 2. There are 5 issues out of this here. Getting into issue 2, we start with Agent, what's her name? Ravenwood. And they are trying to figure out what's going on with Bebop and Rocksteady because they basically attacked somebody. They were part animal, part man. They killed everyone, crossed the river, smashed the boat into shore, and darted off into the brush. I've never seen anyone move like that.
When I read this, I thought I picked up the wrong issue. Like, it felt like it jumped ahead.
Yeah.
But no, they wreaked havoc in between the issues.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And I like that they didn't show it, that they tell us about their adventures, and they don't show all of them. And the thing about them turning back human is they're not invulnerable anymore. I think I hurt my knee when we crashed that boat. And their mutation is wearing off.
Yeah, they're 90% human. Rocksteady's got a little bit of a horn left. I did check for continuity. Rocksteady does not have an ear for most of this. It's just a little hole.
Yeah. And they hop a train, and they run into an old wise hippie who's, an old homeless person, basically.
Hobo? Is that what they call them when they're on the trains? I don't know if that's an unkind word, but I will.
Nah, it works. And they basically steal his bag and
chuck him off the train.
Yeah, they chuck him off the train. So, okay, well, that's one less in the hobo population, I guess. That's not good. I gotta say, I am not, I like how Rocksteady looks as a human. I'm not too thrilled with how Bebop looks as a human. The only thing I don't like is the fact that his sideburns are purple, along with his mohawk, and he has, black hair and a black goatee. The purple is what throws me off.
I think what is happening, and I'm looking at continuity, I think it's just been so long that his hair is starting to grow that would typically be the stuff that he would shave, and he would dye what he left, which would the purple sideburns and the mohawk. And I think that's because, like, Rocksteady's hair is longer and shaggier than the military cut that it was when he was first mutated. I think they're just implying that time has passed.
Yeah.
But his Bebop's face just seems too old to be who he is, or there's something about it. It just doesn't look like the personality. But yeah, okay.
Sure. Yeah.
That's how they chose to draw it, I suppose. I like it later. It kind of softens up, I think, as
it goes through. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love how they're like, listen, Bob, you know how we've been at this being bad. So they're talking about being bad guys and, like, let's go straight. And, all of them have it figured out. See, where is this guy going? Somewhere. And I bet it's great. They're all happy. And are we? Maybe sometimes, but right now feels like never. Guys, not all of humanity is happy.
You ready to do this? Yeah, let's get jobs and be squares. First, we got to get some clothes. Well, okay, one more mugging so we can buy clothes. And I'm starving, so we'll make that 2 muggings.
Or, just find a rich alkie and let him leave him in your will. So we get some black helicopters here, and we get the Earth Defense, not Earth Defense, that's Transformers, not Turtles. Earth Protection Force. Ma'am, Union Pacific is telling us the train they boarded was headed for San Antonio. And any word from San Antonio law enforcement? Nothing. You'd think they've had a run-in with them or that there would be a sighting, but it's quiet. Too quiet for Bebop and Rocksteady. What could they be doing? They're washing dishes. Or they're washing their boss. And I love
burning
this.
down the diner.
Yes, burning down the diner. Yeah. I love this because it's them trying their best to go straight, and it doesn't really work. Like, who in the right mind would let Rocksteady be a knife salesman?
My favorite 3 panels are Bebop reading to a kindergarten class, substitute teaching, I imagine, and it's 10 in the morning, and he's like, oh, I'm out of things to do. And so the next panel is like kindergarten fight club with boxing gloves, and there are people in the background taking bets on the fight. Yeah, that's fun.
That is so funny. They try yoga. Rocksteady farts out the yoga class.
And then we have the Lucy.
Oh,
I Love Lucy reference.
Yeah. The conveyor belt. Yep. UPS, lifeguard. Poor Bebop is just sleeping. And again, that's what makes this fun, is that you have TMNT characters that are trying to find their way without, because at this time, what is going on in New York? Isn't it the big battle still? I forget.
That stuff hasn't happened yet, because Bishop is still alive. It would have been, maybe it would have been that time, but I think it's all I know is that it's before Burnout Island where Slash dies, because that's where Bishop takes off.
Right. So we get back to the EPF, and they get a message. Actually, they find the old man that they kicked out of the train. I got a guy here who says he had a run-in with our friends on the train. They took his only worldly possessions. The thing is, he says he happens to know that the train was on a non-stop route, not to San Antonio, but to Houston. Damn it!
They find the train guy, which means that like everything that happened in the previous page was like within a day.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Or 2, maybe.
Yep. And we find out their real names, or at least what their real names are in the IDW verse. I'm just gonna say Gene and Max. Gene is Bebop and Max is Rocksteady.
Gennardo, and I don't think I can even pronounce what Max is.
Max and Gene.
Yeah, that'll do.
Yep. And Bebop lost another job. This is fine, right? We're doing this being normal business, right? And Rocksteady's like, oh, you should come work at the port with me, and I'm the boss. And so that goes kind of well, and sort of not really. And then they run into Zhang. So
I don't remember her at all, but she was
I didn't remember her at all at first either until I read further in the book, where she was one of the first gangs that they tried to join, and they ended up destroying all of her stuff and all of her gang members and everything else. Yeah. But I love her design. I love the way she looks. I love how Bebop is like, oh wow, what are the chances we'd meet here? Did you What do you got going on? Running drugs, guns? That's cool. I'm just happy to see someone from the good old days of the Foot Clan. Oh, that's right. She was in the Foot Clan. That's right.
Yeah, I don't remember her from the main line, but obviously some kind of gang leader has a group of people. And, of course, Rocksteady and Bebop, forever the wannabe sidekicks try to join, but she's not having it.
No. And they hop in the back of the truck. James, we're criminals, my man. We're not people. We're monsters. Always have been, always will be. It's just fun. Because, again, honestly, I mean, Bebop and Rocksteady are those characters that you want to root for because they can't help who they are. I mean, we're not even through the whole of the second issue out of 5 yet. And so much, like you said earlier, so much has happened in just under a day to them. And they just keep getting it wrong. And of course, they ruin Zhang again.
Or run over her entire crew with the truck that they stole.
Yep.
Blow up the docks, which draws Agent Ravenwood.
Yeah,
right?
Ravenwood, yep. Yep, draws her in there, and yeah, they have ghost robots, and Bebop and Rocksteady end up in the dumpsters.
Oh yeah, the ghost robots from Zhang's crew tear them apart, and because they're human, they're not as indestructible as they used to be, and so they're getting pretty handled.
Yes, until the dinosaur comes and saves them. And I love Bebop. Rock, we're rolling. Oh boy, because the dumpster's rolling down the street.
I didn't catch that.
Oh yeah, man, ever since they revealed how they got the names of Bebop and Rocksteady and their musical genre, I'm always looking for the musical stuff in these with these characters because, like you said earlier, the musical stuff, the musical genres, the musical talk, all that is kind of their go-to.
And it's something I didn't know back when it was a cartoon. The fact that I didn't know that Rocksteady and Bebop were musical genre. So the fact that it's getting used now, I think that's fun. Like, and IDW is going to do it on purpose. So you've got to keep your eyes open, your ears. Like, okay, I didn't even bother to look up razzmatazz to know that was a musical genre. That should be our outro music, though. You should find some razzmatazz.
I'll see if I can, yeah. And they think they have Bebop and Rocksteady, but they don't. Because they're lying dead in a dumpster. Well, almost dead. That's a lot of blood. I mean, they got a lot of stuff happen to them. Oh, man. And, this issue ends with, I don't care about mech suits. Rocksteady and Bebop are mutants. Find them. And they'll be hard to miss. They're monsters. That's right. We're monsters.
Oh, they are broken.
And it just kind of hurts my heart because, I mean, you can kind of see the villainy of Bebop and Rocksteady when they're mutants, but really, like we've said so far, they're just, even back in the old cartoon, they were even dumber. But, it's just one of those things where, dang. So the third issue begins below ground, away from the Earth protection agents that now comb the port of Houston at the bottom of the drainage basin. We'll be safe down here. Sure you will. And enter Savante Romero.
Sinister, evil, time, and dimension-hopping villain connected with Renette.
Yep. And apparently he's the one that turned them human again, and he's the one that can turn them back into mutants, but it only lasts for so long. And because they were all bullet holed and riddled and whatever, turning the mutants again, they actually have to give Bebop a as mutants, your wounds heal quickly, but we'll still need to set that bone using this brace. Does that hurt? Tickles. And I love how that becomes a running thing throughout the rest of the series of Bebop's mechanical arm.
Yeah, that looks cool. I was kind of hoping they were going to keep that, because it's a robot arm, and it's set as bone, and it's basically acting as a cast that he can move around in, but it has X-ray vision, and so you can see the bone to make sure that it's healing. And it's really interestingly drawn, and that's something that I was like, oh, sweet, I hope he gets to keep it.
So Savanti basically wants them to come back and work for him, essentially.
He feels that since he has control over their mutation, that they're beholden to him, because I think he was backstabbed by them in Destroy Everything, so he's not playing any games and knows how they operate.
And again, I love whenever we get I know they're not hero characters, but I'm gonna say this, quote unquote hero shots of them. We'll help you. Lord Disco Dance is dead. Lord Disco Dance. Wow. So we get back to Ravenwood, and at the docks, they have to be here. I can feel it, and there's something wrong with her hand there.
Yeah.
Oh boy. So she sees the footage. She sees the footage that Agent Browder is showing her, and two humans. They kind of look like Bebop and Rocksteady. They're there one minute, they're not there the next minute. And they go back to the dumpster and all of that, and then there's an alien invasion in the city of Houston.
It's the time, cops. The jig is up, because they know Savanti Romero has just teleported there. So they come in and lock down interdimensional travel to keep him there while they start combing the city.
Comb the desert. We ain't found shit.
That's Tuvok, you know that, right? Voyager. I think everybody's got to know that by now. I think that's oh gosh, what was his name? Tim Russ.
Oh, good old Spaceballs. So they're gonna be helping out Savanti, and they do the best that they can do, and he actually gives them weaponized
pods.
Pods.
Little spaceships.
Yeah, basically. Rock and roll. And they go and try to go against the Earth Protection Force, but they end up once again basically destroying everything because they're Bebop and Rocksteady. They don't know, they're going after her in the EPF, and I love Bebop. It's fine, I'm okay. Bebop, this is Savanti. Who are you talking to? It's them, Bebop and Rocksteady. Are in the smaller aircraft. Get them.
I think in the dialogue, Bebop and Rocksteady are quoting Top Gun at each other.
Oh, of course they are. Yeah.
They don't know. They don't know what they're doing. They're flying and crashing into everything, but they're.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does refer to one of them refers to somebody as Goose at a point.
Yeah. It's no good. It's no good. Talk to me. Yeah. Yeah. It's so funny. Oh, so funny. And they're still trying to capture them, and they basically blow up everything. Dang, where's the brakes? And
Yeah, the EPF shows up, the time cops are there, everybody's having a wreck.
and she explains to him that they just want to, they want you to land peacefully and come with her and promise nobody's going to hurt you. Hurt me. I would love to see him try. Nah. I'm on to your game. Razmataz told me all about the men in black with your black helicopters and all the terrible things you would do to us. You can forget it, lady. And yeah, she pulls out the big gun. Holy crap. That's not good. And holy crap, all units open fire. Man, it's a battle scene to end all battle scenes for these guys.
I didn't see what was happening in all of this. I can see it now.
Yeah. Like, Bebop gets hit with the giant thing that she shot. All units open fire. Blam, 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 blam.
Ejector seats and lands in the helicopter, pulls his head out, gets too close to the helicopter blades. Helicopters crash. Oh my
do. And Savante is like, Cretan, you're supposed to save me. So they end up capturing Savante. And it's me, the guy with the super blaster pointed at your butt. Rocksteady, wait. Turn and burn. And of course, Rocksteady fires on Savante. Savante, boss, you alive? And they capture Rocksteady. And yeah,
Savante turns off the mutation thing, and his ear comes. His other ear? Back.
Oh, that's right. Oh no, not again. You better not cut off that one, Rocksteady.
He doesn't get a chance, because as the time cops arrest Savante Romero and take him back to his dimension, they Rocksteady and Bebop fully turn back into humans, because that spell or the technology or whatever it was has left the area. But as the time cops are freezing time for all of Houston and erasing everything and undoing everything, they determine that there is already some kind of weird time thing happening with them, and Savante had polluted their timeline, and so they were showing up as they looked pre-mutants, and so they undid that, and pop, they're mutants again, and they're not going to change back anymore.
Yay! And
he would have cut that ear off, though.
He would have, yes. Thank God he didn't. And I kind of like Bebop's new low cut. I like the other one just as well, but I like the low cut too.
Yeah, I think this is more what we're used to. I think the shorter. Yeah. I mean, from action figure in the old series.
Yep. And so they figure it out. We're back on track. Big Bopper, New York, here we come. And they go off, and it kind of ends with Ravenwood not so happy. Get into the next one here, and it starts off with the news coverage of everything, because we get to Hector again. So Hector is quite literally.
It was just a tornado in Houston. It was just a tornado.
Yeah, of course it was just a tornado. A tornado with a warthog and a rhino. And I honestly thought that Hector was not going to survive this entire series. I'm glad
I didn't think they'd come back to him, but when he did, I'm like, oh man, why couldn't he have gone along for the whole journey?
Yeah, and he's talking with his family, and he's like, sure, laugh, but I know aliens are real. I've met them. So you've met aliens, huh? Oh, geez. So we see Bishop. Holy crap.
Kmart Agent Smith.
Yeah, he kind of is. I mean, yeah. Pain and destruction brought on by Bebop and Rocksteady weighs heavily on my conscience. I'm not your therapist, agent. You know where they are and where they're going. The craft is difficult for our satellites to track. It can just appear in different places, but we're piecing it together. It's a path. Is there a pattern, agent? And this is right about the time that they realize that they're essentially lost children. However, go ahead, what were you going to say?
We all know that the actual reason that there is no pattern is that they're idiots.
Right. Right. And it is revealed that apparently, Bishop says, frankly, Agent Ravenwood, I don't trust what you think is in or out of the mutant character. You continually sympathize with the mutant. I suppose, after all, you are one of them. I have sympathy for any creature that suffers, and I am not one of them. You're a failed experiment, a freak.
Huh. And what are you, Bishop? How you...
Oh, we got
moderately successful?
Yeah, not really. But we, kind of get, this leads into revealing what she is, and that I thought was really, really cool. Why are they talking about Alvin and the Chipmunks?
But he's also a chipmunk. It should have been Alvin and the other chipmunks.
Why?
Yeah, I think that was the second of two literal out loud laughter bits that I got out of this book.
Absolutely. Bone Arm Bebop. Check out the bone, baby. Oh, Lord. They're still trying to find New York, and they end up in the Florida Everglades. Once again, it's just them trying to find out where they're going or where they need to go. The North Pacific Ocean, 500 miles east of Hawaii. Oh, Lord.
Shooting humpback whales.
Not supposed to do that, guys.
No, some evil space probe was going to come down and wreck San Francisco. That's the second Star Trek reference this episode. Oh, my gosh.
Oh, of course, yes.
Sorry. Wrong podcast.
Hey, you know what? Star Trek, Turtles, it's all the same. And we have Ravenwood interrogating Zhang.
Who's not talking.
Yeah. And she's like, tell me what you know. And she shows her the picture, and Zhang just starts laughing. And she just has this weird look on her face. We cut again to Hector. Briefly.
Who's been arrested by the Earth EPF?
Yeah, EPF, the Earth Protection.
I'm gonna keep. It sounds like I'm saying the EPA wrong whenever I think of those letters. But all
you got to remember is Grandpa Simpson. EPA, EPA, EPA. So he gives up stuff.
Tells her they're headed to New York.
New York City.
New York City.
All I can think of was those old
salsa commercials.
Yep. All right, all we gotta do is get on the I-80, and it's like a straight shot all the way home. No, you idiot! You get on I-95, and you'll be taken to Massachusetts. Then you go west. Man, we'll be there in no time. Ready the choppers. We're moving everything to New York.
Huh? You mean they're going to New York? Yes.
Of course they are. And again, this is where I said earlier it makes total sense, and I think they're lost. They go down to the lab. Dr. Selvin has to show her something, and complex network of capacitors, and I was certain I could. Doctor, I appreciate your exhaustive research, but time is of the essence. Yes, of course. It is. I'll cut to the chase. So to speak, we managed to get the communication system operational. We can talk to Rocksteady and Bebop. Right now, would you like to do the honors? Bebop and Rocksteady are just excited that they found the tunes. You want to talk about some psychedelic panels, folks?
Yeah.
These panels, man, the colors are off the hook.
The motion blur on their arms and legs as they're dancing.
Yep.
I don't even know how you conceive of that in two-dimensional static art, but it's beautiful. It's well done. It's really well done.
It's so cool. So cool. So she's trying to get a hold of them. What was that? And she's trying to explain to them that she wants to help. And
they aren't making it they aren't making it easy. She's coming at them with the compassion of thinking that they're simple-minded children and that they're scared or lost, but they're just laughing at her, making fun of her over the radio, and it just cheeses her off.
Yep. Razzmatazz, that twerp ratted on us to the men in black. You punks have no idea what you're dealing with. If I wanted to, I could take you apart. Don't push me. Like, it, and you see that panel on her face, and you see her eyes, like, holy crap. This lady has got some really, really strange things going on with her.
Yeah, well, they mentioned that she was a mutant. Now I was like, well, we've seen weird moments where her body has contorted in very strange ways, or that her fingers look strangely socketed like robot muscle metal tendons or something. And so something's not right, and those eyes are not right. And then when she said she's a mutant, I'm like, wait, what kind of mutant is this? This isn't. I don't know what she is yet.
And so she gets the extensive criminal records. Those two men in the dumpster, I got everything on them. And juvenile detention center, assault, burglary, Rocksteady was thrown out of, dishonorable discharge from the military. And aliases, Bebop and Rocksteady.
They're not children. They're not animals.
Nope. Nope. And all the black helicopters converge on New York City. Well, they're in New Jersey, just across from the Hudson River from New York.
Taking the roads all the way, even though they're driving a spaceship.
Yep. And they're singing the Bottles of Beer on the Wall song, so there's that. And I got an idea. I'll use my special driving trick. Let me drive. And Rocksteady just zooms through the whole thing. I should have thought of that. Man, I know that's most likely not the Verrazano Bridge, but every time I see a bridge in a comic book and I know it's New York, it's like all I can think of is Metal Gear Solid 2 and Snake on the bridge. That very beginning of the Metal Gear Solid 2 game way back when.
I don't think I played that one. I played the first one that was on PS. Man, golly, yeah, that was PS1. And it wasn't actually the first one because the first one was on NES.
Well, yeah, that was Metal Gear. Metal Gear Solid, the very first Solid game, was on PS.
Yep.
And then Metal Gear Solid 2 was on PS2. Yeah, it's a 2-mission game. It starts out with you as playing as Snake, and then it switches to Raiden.
Oh, that's right.
Raiden. Yeah. So Bebop and Rocksteady, you just have to take us alive, pigs. Wake up, Bobby. Here's a love letter from your Uncle Blasto. Oh, man. I gotta say, writing for these characters, Dustin and Ben must have had a blast writing this. Because this is just fun.
Yeah, I don't know how you write stupidity, and that's very interesting. And it's a fun kind of. These guys have a fun kind of stupidity. You'll have to take us alive, pigs, says Bebop, the warthog.
Mm-hmm. But again, human brain, animal body kind of thing, I guess. What I find interesting is that the EPF has robots. And I'm like, that would have been a perfect opportunity for Turtles Transformers crossover. I don't think that has ever happened. I mean, they've crossed
I don't think it was
over.
any one of the one-shots. IDW had the license, but I don't think they went that way.
And
the EPF came prepared, launches 2 cable pod-looking things that immediately entangle and pin Bebop and Rocksteady.
Yep. You've reached the end of the road. Dead end.
She's angry now. Oh, wait. Oh, that is the end. Oh, man.
Yeah,
that's the end of issue 4. I have to cycle through. There we go.
And now we get to the finale here. Suspended between New York and New Jersey on the bridge. And they are just laughing and laughing and laughing. You're through. You'll both be locked away in cells not even you could break out of. You'll never walk free again. This is no laughing matter, Rocksteady and Bebop. Oh, no, it ain't. Oh, no, it ain't that. It's that this is where our dinosaur kills you and saves the day. Yeah, he does it every time. Dinosaur?
He'll pounce any minute.
Yep. And that doesn't happen yet. Just wait. It's kind of like Batman with the bat gag, where he presses a button and nothing happens, and because he's in the Batcave and he's like, "Wait for it." And then all the bats come out because it was a high-pitched bat signal thing for the bats. I'll just wait until I get out of this thing. Rocksteady and I, we killed much tougher ladies than you for no reason. But you're giving us all kinds of reasons. And does Bishop double-cross her, or does he... Okay, that's what I thought. She turns around and these things basically he frees them. And then the dinosaur attacks. That's right. Yep.
Yep, because he thinks she's unclean and he thinks she's too soft. So right at the right moment, he disables those cables that were holding them down. And so they're right there. And then the dinosaur pops out.
Yep. And I swear for half a second, I'm like, what does that dinosaur remind me of? Kind of reminds me of a cross between... No, it's straight. It's like, it looks like a dinosaur version of Mondo. It's not. But like this panel here where he pops up and his mouth and his tongue, and it really looks like Mondo to me. I don't know. They're both lizards, so who knows. So we have another battle.
The part that blows my mind is that dinosaur picks up a machine gun and starts shooting it. He's been around them so long that he's picking up bad habits. Not only can raptors open doors, but they can fire machine guns.
Yep.
So Ravenwood's watching everything break loose. She's trying to save things. It's frantic. Things are exploding. Bombs are going off. She's leaping away trying to save people. And then we have another fantastic panel after the bridge blows up, but Bebop and Rocksteady pulling themselves out of the water. The glowing eyes, the blood trickling over the black shadows. Wonderfully illustrated panel.
Yeah, the shadows in this entire series are done so well to illustrate so many good points. And yeah.
And then the next panel, more absolutely frenetic scrabble action lines. I can't tell what's going on, but I know that it is destructive and scary and terrifying.
It's one way to show them destroying stuff, and I think it's great how they... Yes, it is a little over the top with the gore and the whatever, but just looking at this page of all the gore around the middle two panels of her at the helicopter, like, wow, that's one way to show violence in a comic that doesn't really show violence. I mean, it does, but it doesn't. And okay, I got lost here because
I didn't see this coming.
No. I got lost here because we get Bebop and Rocksteady robots.
Yeah, she pulled out the secret weapon, which was, I don't know, these learning machines that are supposed to socialize and befriend them or something, but they start to converse with these Rocksteady and Bebop robots. Rocksteady, what do you think? What do you think, man? I don't know. I really want to trust these guys. Yeah, I know something about them. They just seem like really good dudes. Yeah, they're robots. That's really cool. Let's hear them out.
Come with us. We're your new buds. We got snacks. Lots of snacks. Say, has your horn gotten bigger? And Bebop is like, hey, what's that? Made you look. Bam.
Boom.
Punches him right in the face. Oh, wise guy, huh?
Initiating combat mode.
Yep. You're gonna get it. Yeah, no more Mr. Nice Robotic Guy. Not even robots of themselves can defeat them. But man, that bridge is gone.
Yep.
And they aren't built for water. So Bebop and Rocksteady are surviving here. The robots aren't. And Ravenswood is like, fear-mongering with mutant ruthlessness and destruction displayed for the world to see. Where's Bishop? He already left. And
she's going to handle things her own way now.
And we get the full reveal of what she is. And she looks like she could be the next Sonya Blade in Mortal Kombat 2.
I have to. Referencing the new movie, I haven't watched. I watched the beginning of it, and the beginning was really good.
Yeah,
but I didn't watch any further, and I need to go back.
I haven't. It's been months, and I haven't seen it yet.
I think it just came out. The new.
Well, it did, but by the time this is airing, it'll. Oh,
I
see. So, yes. Yeah. So she goes on and fights them, and basically whips their asses.
Oh yeah, breaks his back, smashes him open. Her body is stretching, and it's, I don't know how to describe that. They look like synthetic plastic muscle, twisted sorts of things, and she's uber flexible, but no, even though she's like injecting him with poison here.
Yeah, she's basically the TMNT version of Metamorpho. Metamorpho was Rick Rex Mason in DC Universe, where he got all these chemicals mixed into him and he can become anything he wants, kind of thing. And it seems like she's doing the exact same thing, kind of. And then she's basically turning into ribbons and multiple heads, and oh my god, wow, this is way too much. It's awesome, but so much. No, I'm the hero.
They're ripping her to pieces. She's multiple heads. They keep squishing heads, which disorients the remaining heads.
You monsters! And the dinosaur is actually alive. I was not expecting that, but the dinosaur is alive, and the dinosaur gets in on the action. Bebop and Rocksteady look like they're not doing so well.
Yeah, they're swollen and dripping green ooze, but and this is where I should have expected it. I'm thinking like, oh, they're gonna die or they're gonna get captured because they're just crawling around the ground. They do the fist bump, with their melting flesh and splattering poison. But in the next panel, they're healed and happy and walking down a city street. Like, okay, there we go on Rocksteady. They healed that.
Yep, they're in New York. Crazy how this dinosaur keeps finding us. Rock, he did save our butts a couple of times, and he's not so runty anymore. Maybe we should finally give him a name. I guess maybe he's earned a place in our gang, but what's a good music style to name him after the best two are taken?
Anchovy?
Yeah.
Anchovy?
Yeah.
Is that a musical genre?
I don't think so.
Or, wait, what did the Ninja Turtles name their dinosaur? Pepperoni.
Pepperoni, yeah.
I was making sure that they didn't rip that name off.
Yeah, no. So, anchovy, I guess. At first I thought they were going to name him Walk. Like you walk the dinosaur.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So they're a gang of three, and they just smash everything. And I love how
I had to look it up. That dinosaur was named Anchovy in the earlier series. It was Pepperoni and Anchovy. Where they picked him up. But it is a musical-themed gang name, Anchovy, named after the music they had listened to while in Savanti's stolen transdimensional craft.
That's right. Yeah. So the three of them are happy to be destroying things in New York, and the end, ... question mark. We all know it's not going to be the end.
They'll be back when they need another Ninja Turtle to die.
Mm-hmm. Hey now, I heard that something happened to Donnie recently. I'm not liking that. And I'm not talking
I don't know. I don't think I'm that far behind, but oh my.
Something with, I don't know, I saw something about how they've and again, we're recording this in April, folks. It'll be out in August, so by this time the information will probably be incorrect. I'll have to look it up. However, I saw a news article the other day about, and it was probably just one of those clickbait articles. Why does IDW always kill Donatello kind of thing? And like they're making it like it's I don't know. I'll have to look it up later. We get to the epilogue, a rundown building tucked away in a dark alley in Manhattan. Home sweet home for the first time. I feel good about life. We've always lived in dumps and we've always been kicked out of gangs, but for the first time, that's exactly how I want it. Yeah. Who's that? Congratulations, Bebop and Rocksteady.
I don't have an epilogue. I don't know what this is.
Really? You don't have an epilogue?
Nope.
So it just ends at the question mark? Okay, well, All right, folks, it's edit time. Let's see if I can do this right. 123.10 edit. Let me know when you can see my screen.
Yay, there we are.
All right. All right, folks, so we get the end, and we have already answered or not answered the questions of that, and we have an epilogue here in the trade. A rundown building tucked away in a dark alley in Manhattan. Home sweet home. Who's that? Congratulations, Bebop and Rocksteady. Kick. Move and you're dead.
Oh.
I saw what you did back there on the bridge. Very impressive. I'm back to take over this city, you in?
Yeah, so that epilogue is not in the single issues, but that Karai has that evil blade, that...
Yep.
I forgot what they call that thing, but
yeah,
she's back.
So that's back.
Setting up the city at war.
Yep, it is. Very cool. And we get the that's Bebop and Rocksteady. I almost called it Destroy Everything. Hit the road. Before we talk about the variant covers that we have here, this was fun. There was a couple of times where I was a little squeamish with the violence in it, but it is what it is. It's not gonna take away from my grade at all. But I thought this was so much fun. So much fun. So we have cover art. We have Bebop and Rocksteady, their mug shots with them as mutants. They were human. By Ben Bates. We've got the main trade cover by Corey Smith, so that's what the trade is covered.
That's a really nice image.
Yeah, it is. We've got one done by Kevin Eastman, colors by Tommy Vargas, of them with their dune buggy or whatever it is, vehicle, and out in the middle of the desert. We've got one by Ulysses Farnes, which basically looks like they're in a go-kart and the turtles are on the... Oh, okay, I saw Donnie and Leo. Raph's behind them. And Mikey's
they're the Mario Kart turtle shells.
Yep. Love that. We got one by Giannis. I'm going to mispronounce his name, but it's basically Rocksteady's on a scooter, Bebop's on a skateboard. With a comic book in the background. That's nice. Another one by Buster Moody with road tripping them in the desert, checking out a road map. And then another one by Aaron Conley, which is them just kind of bopping around almost on a turtle.
Ratfink style.
Yep, Ratfink style, yep. This one I really dig. These are the art designs by Dustin Weaver. I love that design. That is so cool. And then we get the Savanti designs in here and the mech
spot.
The Ghost Spot designs and the Time Police designs and the human designs for Bebop and Rocksteady. Very, very cool. The multiple designs that they used.
I love the design sketches that can happen in the back of trades. I miss that stuff by getting the single issues.
Should always get the trades. Agent Haley Ravenswood, so we see how she kind of progressed. For reference, this is Peggy Stockton, a bodybuilder in the 50s. So wow, nice reference. That's cool. I think that's really cool how Ben referenced something all the way back from then. And then, obviously, Wingnut and Screwloose, along with Anchovy. And that's that. Absolutely love this, folks. It is absolutely fun. Everybody should be reading Bebop and Rocksteady Hit the Road. It is so, so cool. So fun. So interesting. What are your final thoughts before we close it out, sir?
It's a lot. Every once in a while, there comes one of those crossover side issue, side story things, and they're really interesting and fun. I can do without the Bebop and Rocksteady ones only because it almost feels gratuitous. Like, yes, the fans enjoyed the characters in the main story, but here's this where it's almost like too much of their shtick. Still more in like a lot of I don't know. It's what IDW manages to pull off though is that they give you this thing and it's the best that it absolutely can be. And so despite the fact that like I don't think anybody asked for this story, it was still kind of fun to read. And I was like, okay, I'll read it, and I'm still going to read everything that they do because there are definitely redeemable things and laugh out loud moments, which doesn't usually happen for me. So I have it's a bag of mixed things for me, I think.
Here's the way I look at the side things, and I think I've said this in the last. Well, we're not quite there, but we're almost at 10 years of doing this stuff. I mean, we started Turtles in 2014, and we're 3 years away from 2024. So the way I look at like stuff like Dimension X or Mutanimals or whatever, it's a way for them to pay attention to the characters that normally would not get attention in the main book. Like, you could show Hob and Slash, you could show them, or you can show Bebop and Rocksteady, but for further adventures, and this is why I love these miniseries, is because you get, like, other creators. The fact that Dustin Weaver and... oh, God, I just said it at the beginning of the podcast. Who else writes this damn thing?
Ben Bates.
Ben Bates, yeah. Sorry, Ben. Yes. Ben Bates and Dustin Weaver. Ben is on art as well. But, you get them to write a Bebop and Rocksteady story that feels like it just fits in with the rest of the stuff. And it just works. And the fact that I hate that the 5th issue does not have that epilogue. I don't know why it wouldn't. But, I'm glad I read it in trade. I'm glad I was not getting it in single issues. I'm glad I wait for the trade because sometimes there are things that you just don't know until you catch them like you caught this here.
And all that extra cool concept art that I love that stuff. And we got to the end of that issue where all the guns were pointed at him at the bridge of issue 4, and I realized like if I'd have read that, I'd have had to wait an entire month before I got that resolution. You just get to turn the page.
That's right. That's why I love that we like the pull bag so far in 2021. We have a mixed bag now where we do trades and we do singles, but we're doing singles as they come out. Like, we do Beast Wars and we do Radiant Black. Beast Wars from IDW, Transformers Beast Wars, and Radiant Black is from Image Comics. It's by Kyle Higgins. So I don't mind doing single issues that way for new current things, but for stuff that's been out for a few years, it's like, get the trades. Just get the trades and read it all at once. And yeah, this is so much fun. Absolutely. What would you give Bebop and Rocksteady 0 to 5, sir?
Oh, I might. This might be the lowest I've ever rated an IDW Ninja Turtle book. 3.5. I could be convinced to give it a 4, but nobody needs to convince me of that.
I like what they did in certain parts of the art. I love what they did with the story when it's focused on Bebop and Rocksteady. I've never been a fan of the Earth Protection Force. I'm just not a fan of that, but that's just the way I am. I'm right there with you, 3.5. Because any comic that makes me squeamish from whatever, cutting an ear off and letting the dinosaur eat it. Like, that was a little much. I mean, it wasn't so over the top, but it did make me cringe when I saw him cut his ear off.
Yeah, and even at a 3.5, and the squeamish of that, it almost feels unfair. I mean, I'm looking at issue 1, that beautiful spread. The art is incredible. The writing is humorous. The writing, it's fun writing. There's nothing wrong with this. It's just it's a story that I didn't need. But you're right though that what IDW does tend to do with these side stories is, while you're off reading the main story, this is what Leatherhead was up to. This was what Krang was up to. This is what Rocksteady and Bebop were up to, and that's kind of fun.
Yeah, because again, without what we had, Utrom Empire was the 3-issue mini thing with Krang way back when. Without having that, we may not have the Krang origin story. Again, as long as it all ties back into the overall continuity of the IDW Turtles series, I do not care. The main book can be what the main book is, and that's fine. That's great. We're on the road to 100. We're on the road to City at War, and that's what's going to be coming up next here inside the Pull Bag.
Discover a world of vintage and modern toys that's more than meets the eye with the Triple Takeover Toycast.
Hosted by toy writers and photographers Toybox Soapbox, 60, and TF Square 1, this informal and chilled out series of discussions cover everything from vintage Transformers to Mask, Diaclone, Microman, and more, be it nostalgic or current.
Whether you're a seasoned collector or a casual robot enthusiast, all are welcome.
Triple Takeover Toycast.
12 years in the making. After 6 Top 100 countdowns, the Geekcast Radio Network, along with 33 participants, are launching our Top 100 Transformers Characters Countdown. August 8th, 2021. 35 years after Transformers the movie was released. Don't be the only con left out of this one, folks. Because, really, whether you're a Predacon or a Decepticon, you want to be at the top. Right, Megatron?
Yes.
Tune in to Geekcast Radio Network's Top 100 Transformers Characters Countdown from August 8th through September 17th, 2021. 6 parts, 6 Constructicons. Learn who will fall and where they will fall, because one always falls. Transform and transcend here with us on the Geekcast Radio Network.
Why nobody love Waspinator?
It's going to be City at War Part 1 and 2. Those will be 2 different episodes, 422 and 423. And then later on in the month, we're going to do Shredder in Hell. We're actually going to stop City at War at issue 99, because issue 100 has to be its own thing. So, at least in the trade for me, I have found, stop at page 115, 116 in the trade, because that's when issue 100 takes over. So I have that note here for myself. But yeah, awesome August is all Turtles, and we may have a Beast Wars number 7 review at the very end of the month. But yeah, all month long is all TMNT on our personal road to issue 100. And man, I cannot wait to dig into this stuff, because trying to find that point in City at War, I'm just looking at the page numbers. I'm just looking at the page. I can't look at the things. I can't look at the things, because if I look at the things, then I'm going to get curious, and I need to not spoil my own self, kind of thing. So, very, very, very cool.
Yeah, you have read all that.
Yeah, so much fun. You have anything you would like to promote, sir?
Well, since it's August, we hopefully will be having a Geek Stuff garage sale coming up in the next couple of months. It's got to depend on what the state of the zombie apocalypse is at that point. But it's an outdoor event, so it's reasonably safe as it is. But, I'll just wait for what health department things are going on. But I hope we do that, because that's always a fun thing. Come out and buy stuff and sell stuff and talk to other geeks for free. Who can say no to that?
Absolutely. We have got a whole bunch of stuff going on at the Geekcast Radio Network. I have no idea what's going to be going on other than what's going on here inside the pull bag. So we're just going to get the heck out of here. Make your great escape into comics, and we will catch you next time here inside the pull bag.
One fricassee title coming up.
You've just heard the latest episode of The Pull Bag, the GCRN's first comic review and discussion podcast. There are several ways to get in touch with us and leave feedback for the show. You can visit the website, geekcastradio.com, where you can comment on the episode and all of our different podcasts. You can rate and leave a review for the show on iTunes. Be sure to leave us feedback. Become a fan of us on Facebook, facebook.com/thepullbag. Send us an email, feedback@geekcastradio.com. Follow us on Twitter @thepullbag and @geekcastradio. So until next time, make your great escape into comics and unleash the geek in you.